So good morning, everybody. As Tim said, my name's Pauline. I work at Huddle. I'm going to come on to who Huddle are in a second, but I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. And as I'll come on to, Huddle is a very young startup Web 2.0 company, and it's quite interesting hearing some of the more established organizations like Microsoft and Amazon talk before me there. So I'm just going to click on my slides. There we go. Okay, so a little bit about Huddle. My role at Huddle is a fairly unique one in the world of Web 2.0 startups, in that I actually focus purely on the education sector. So I spend my time working with educational institutions globally, telling them about Huddle, raising awareness of Huddle generally. Huddle as a tool is essentially an online collaboration tool, so we unify the ability to collaborate with social networking. So Huddle really is a series of online workspaces where you can come together with team members, people that you might be collaborating with in a virtual space online. As I mentioned, Huddle is a very young startup company. We were launched in April 2007. Despite the name, and there's a common misconception that we're actually American, and we're not. We're a UK-based company, and we're based at London Bridge. We have currently 30 employees, so very small in the grand scheme of things. However, in terms of our success, we're doubling in size roughly every 4 months. So we're doubling in size when it comes to revenue, but we're also doubling in size when it comes to users signing up to Huddle. So we just got named as one of the top 50 startup companies to watch by Business Week magazine, so that was a real accolade for us. And from the education sector, so .ac.uk and .edu email addresses, we roughly get around 200 people from those email addresses signing up to Huddle every week. So the awareness of Huddle generally in the education sector is definitely growing. So that's a little bit about us. I just wanted to kind of put us into context, because I'm aware that some of you here might not have heard of Huddle before. So Huddle is a collaboration company, and we are a Web 2.0 software as a service tool as well. And the cloud really presents a number of new ways for us to work together. So as I'll come on to in a second, most people, most users will still be using their email to collaborate with people. And that's because it's there and they know it and they're familiar with it. But it's not necessarily the right tool to use if you need to collaborate with people, either within an organization or within an educational institution. So we work socially, we connect globally, and the cloud offers us a whole new way of being able to do that better, to work smarter, to work better together. So if you think about how you might collaborate at the moment using email, it's not necessarily the right tool, because you really don't make yourself very popular when you send around large file attachments to people via email. Why don't you put it in the cloud, direct people to it, and they can download it for themselves? By doing that, you encourage engagement and interaction by allowing people to make comments, to come together in a virtual online space somewhere in the cloud, to talk about that document, to discuss it, to have people add to it. So it really does encourage that interaction and engagement. There's also an issue when you send files via email, that you are just sending that file out there and then assuming that people are working with the correct version. And I'm sure everyone in this room has experienced that to some degree, where you assume you're working from the correct version of a document, but actually you're not. Somebody else has made some changes, and you don't know about those. And so that's another pitfall when it comes to collaborating via email. If you put a document or a file in the cloud and have people access it from there, you are controlling your version, and you are controlling the access to that document, as well as encouraging that engagement with the document. And you can also, once it's in the cloud, get a full audit trail of who has been accessing that document, so that if you're asking for responses on a file that you might have sent out, you're not having to scroll back through your email and just check, did he send me a response? I can't remember. Has he read it? Oh, I don't know. And it's very difficult to track that kind of thing if you use email as your collaboration tool. So the cloud allows people to collaborate better and smarter. It allows you to create and control one final version of a document. It allows you to assign approvals, and it also allows access anytime, anywhere, pretty much any device as well. So Ulcc did some research earlier this year, and they surveyed a number of FE and HE institutes in the UK and asked a couple of questions, and I've just picked a couple out here as an example. So the first one is, your institution reviewing cloud-based IT solutions? And the vast majority said yes, they were. Now, as a Web 2.0 company, we still come across some resistance, some level of resistance to cloud-based computing, and it kind of all boils down to the security issues. But that's decreasing, and we are finding that more and more institutions are seriously reviewing, evaluating, or have even implemented cloud-based applications. And then they asked, what do you see as the benefits of cloud computing? Well, the top one, as you can see there, it came out as anytime, anywhere, any device access, scalability, easy to use. Generally, cloud computing applications are intuitive and very easy to get to grips with, even if you're a non-technical user. And then the other question I picked out from this survey, which I thought was really interesting and goes back to my original point, what tools do you currently use to enable collaboration? And you can see right there that email was the top one. And email's great, but you almost need to take email back to basics, because the cloud is now there and it offers better ways of working. The VLE is another really interesting area. The issue that we come across with virtual learning environments is that they traditionally don't make collaborating with people outside of your institution's network that easy. So when it comes to people like researchers working on collaborative research projects, or I don't know, your partnership office, for instance, what do they do? The VLE doesn't really enable external collaboration for them. So I just wanted to touch very briefly on how Huddle's being used. I have a real challenge at Huddle in explaining what it is that we do, but we see a huge range of uses of Huddle in educational institutions. So I've put some of the most common ones up here. The first one is international offices, so enabling international student recruitment, enabling collaboration with partners and campuses overseas, partnership offices, so partnerships that are community engagement driven, so you have to collaborate with your FE colleges and the schools in your region. You know, again, it comes back to this external collaboration piece. Students and collaborative research, another really big one, where tools like Huddle, not just Huddle, are used frequently. There's a number of other applications for Huddle, which you can see on the screen there. I'm not going to read through those. And along the bottom, I've just popped to a couple of examples of institutions that have implemented Huddle in the last 6 months. So I just wanted to make you aware. I'm also aware that I'm standing in between you and coffee, so I won't go through that in too much detail. But again, this point was made earlier. You really need to give users what they need rather than just shove a Web 2.0 or cloud computing application at them just because it's cool and it's what you think you should be doing. We work with institutions regularly, and we really do make sure that there is a need for something like Huddle or a tool like Huddle, but we really need to make sure that that need is there and you're not doing it just for the sake of it. And lastly, cloud computing, we believe, offers freedom from all of the things that you see on the screen there. So the initial software costs, Web 2.0 applications are traditionally sold on a per user, per month basis. There's no maintenance, there's no upgrade fees with Web 2.0 applications, so it provides you freedom from a lot of those things that you see on the screen there. And I'd encourage you all To sign up for a free Huddle account, you can just go ahead and anyone can sign up for a free account at huddle.net. We have a pilot institution package offer which is running until the end of the year. If anyone here is interested in Huddle and what it offers, then please come and find me. I'm here all day. And we're also running a webinar on the 12th of October at 3 o'clock where we'll actually walk through the tool and show you examples of how Huddle, as an example of a Web 2.0 app, is being used by real education customers. And lastly, we are sponsoring the drinks. Huddle's very good at two things. One is collaboration, and the second one is drinking. So we are sponsoring the drinks, so I look forward to having a drink with you afterwards at the drinks reception this evening. So thank you very much for your time. Any questions, please do feel free to get in touch with me. Thank you.